As the sun set over the Melbourne paddock and the teams packed up ready for the journey to Malaysia, the Postmortem was already underway on a dramatic season opener. Not since the 2002 Australian Grand Prix have so few drivers been classified as finishers. Just 7 cars took the checkered flag. So is this the shape of things to come in 2008, or were there special factors that led to such a high rate of attrition?
And it's going Australia!
Before the race had run a single lap, 5 drivers had already crashed out.
I think there's always a bit of desperation from people at the first couple of races, just trying to prove a point, stamp their authority and impress the right people.
The drivers haven't raced for 3 or 4 months, so they're all a bit rusty on first corner and first lap.
There was 2 incidents at turn 1. Melbourne's quite famous for sort of having a problem in that first corner.
Maybe the new regulations have just put a bit of extra pressure on people.
Those new regulations included the introduction of a common ECU and the banning of traction control, putting more emphasis on driver skills.
I got that tingle before the start because we were doing a non-traction control start.
The Ferraris seemed to spend more time than most on the grass.
It was not a big difference, to be honest. I mean, it was just a crazy race.
Another effect of the common ECU was the loss of engine braking.
Oh yeah, way too deep, way too deep. That was never going to stop in a month of Sundays.
These cars are certainly a bit more difficult to drive now without traction control and without the other electronic aids. It's quite easy to make a mistake.
And the knock-on effect of those errors saw faster cars trying to make their way back up through the field, sometimes with dramatic results.
A couple of guys were more back on the grid like Kimi Räikkönen, and then just tried to push the hardest possible to come to the front, and that was maybe the reason why it was quite spectacular.
Oh, enormous jump for Timo Glock!
The new regulations also stipulate that cockpit sides must be higher, so did restricted vision play its part in the accident that led to Coulthard's demise?
Vision is definitely restricted by the side impact structure. I think the mirrors are the big issue as well, and the wide position. It's quite clear if you have a mirror up close, then you see much more behind you than if you have a mirror out there. It reduces the angle of vision you have. So moving the mirrors into a closer position like we had last year, there's a small aerodynamic loss, but I think it gives you better racing ability.
Temperatures in the high 30s in Melbourne put an additional strain on men and machines. Here in Malaysia, rain could also play a part, so we could be set for a dramatic season.
We'll see if this will continue all year. If it's like that, it will be very spectacular races until the last lap.